Hello, this is Stephanie Moberly, and I'm going to take a couple minutes to walk you through the different things within my ePortfolio. So to start off with here, you see this is my artifact folder. Within my artifact folder are going to be all of the documents that you'll find within my ePortfolio. All of the documents, including like my goals video, my philosophy, my plan of study, my resume, as well as all of the documents that are embedded within my slideshows for my secondary, elementary, and district activities, the 22 activities required. So these are just some of the activities. I included activities that we had used throughout our courses, as well as additional activities and things that I had done within my district, my building principal, as well as my district superintendent. So we can look now down here at the activity section. Here is my activities form. Down here on the bottom on this Excel, you'll see all of the different activities. I did 5 activities for the district level. I did 7 activities for the secondary level, and then I did 10 activities for the elementary level, since I'm wanting to focus primarily on the elementary level in my future. And you'll see also here the total hours spent. There is at least 150. I believe there's a couple hours over that, as well as just a description of what the activity was. My administrative verification, I had this completed by both my elementary principal, which would be my building principal. That was this second form as soon as it loads. And then I also had this completed by my district superintendent, who is also the secondary, the high school, junior, senior high school principal. So she filled out this for me, and we worked through my ePortfolio. The annotated bibliography was an activity for sure. This took a lot of time. Mostly because of inability to focus solely on this. I'm a very busy person. I have 5 kids at home, and during the summer we are all home all together all of the time. So most of my work is done late at night after all of the kids are in bed. So being able to actually find the 33 resources for this, read them, comprehend them, and then, all the additional requirements for that, it took me some time. But I did find some really good resources that I could definitely see myself using in the future. I even talked to my principal about a couple of them for some things that we're working on within our building. Further over here on the side, I'm working here now currently on my highlight video for my ePortfolio. We'll go to my district slide first, and I'll just do a real quick overview of the activities that I did for those. Again, like I said a second ago, I did 5 for the district level. Here is an assignment I had I incorporated or included from one of the courses that we took. This is integrating ethics into the vision and mission statements. So here next year, my district is actually going to be revamping ours. So that will come in very handy. Another activity that I had here is a Powtoon video that I created on leadership and ethics. Oh, it's the same thing. It keeps doing that. All right. Here's another Powtoon activity that I had over the parental rights. So these I found very eye-opening. I'd always read about the parents' rights and always heard about the parents' rights, but never really read through them in depth. And then this is probably one of my favorite activities that I had done. I worked as the STEAM coordinator during my first couple years at Oxford, where I teach now. We don't really have a STEAM program anymore. We've kind of shifted and combined that in with some other things. But I had the opportunity to go to Florida and accept an award on behalf of our elementary school. I went with our, she was another, I guess, co-coordinator, Shelley Graves, and we got to present to educators from all over the United States while we were there. So we were one of the 3 finalists at the elementary level to receive this award in the United States. And then this assignment is a paper I wrote on the best ways to observe teachers. I'm a mentor teacher again this following year, so I have a brand new teacher. I actually sat in on her interview, and she's going to be my co-teacher as well this year. So I'm looking forward to implementing some of those things. Let's go down to the elementary level. My slideshows for this as it gets going and loading. Possibly not. Okay, we'll come back to that. My internet must not be working very well. Okay, let's jump to the secondary level. I did 7 activities for the secondary level. I am on the district leadership team within my district. This year was very stressful. We are in year 5 of our KESA year reports. So, and of course, KESA would be the Kansas Education Systems accreditation. So, year 5 is your final year. So we wrote this report and worked on it for months. We actually worked on it quite a bit during COVID when we weren't in the building. So we were all kind of working on a shared Google document. So we were reviewing our goals for the past 5 years and the data and analyzing if we had reached those goals, as well as creating and making a plan for our next 5 years. So, because we'll be starting year 1 again next year. Learned a lot during that process. I included my case study for EDL 852 for this one. It's about, ethics and dealing with situations. My next one, my goodness. Here we go. This is a Prezi that I had created over gender identity. I was really looking specifically at the policies and the procedures within my district on what we had on this topic, and I was really not very surprised. Sad to say, though, that we don't really have any policies put in place, so that was something that we needed to discuss within my school board. Math progressions document I included here. I'm on the math curriculum team, and we just adopted a math curriculum a couple years ago, so this is a document that we had worked on grades K through 12, working on the math progressions so that we could really go through and find a math curriculum that met the needs for our students and what our teachers needed. This is by far my favorite one. So I worked very closely and still work very closely within my community and local businesses on projects and funding and finding volunteers to come work with our students. I had, for the years starting in 2016 through the next 4 years, I did what was called KidWind, and I did this within my class and really worked on, I found community volunteers to come and work in with our students. My students were working with power tools, so I had adult, helpers with students working on this. I then had to coordinate a huge fundraising event because we qualified for nationals our first year. So throughout this program, I've taken students during the summer, actually, or during the tail end of school. We've gone to New Orleans. We've gone to Anaheim. I've been to Chicago. So we've got to go to a lot of places, and I've been able to take some awesome kids to places that they probably wouldn't have been able to go to otherwise. This would be a poster graphic that I created regarding admission ticket procedures for my district and the new changes due to COVID. We did have these posted within my school district, so that was kind of cool to see around. Like I said earlier, I have sat in on interviews. I sit in on almost all interviews within the school district. I think just mostly because I'm part of the district leadership team. I'm also a mentor teacher for teachers as they come in. So I sit in on a lot of interviews. We have a lot of new teachers coming in this next year, so that's exciting. And that would be it for secondary. Let's see if I can go back to the elementary level and see if I can get it to load. And I cannot get it to load here, so I will show it to you from right here. So for this, like I said, I did 10 activities, being that that's my focus. So let's go and see if I can get this in present mode. I apologize, my internet is not the best. Okay, first one, gift giving and receiving poster that I created. We get a lot of gifts as elementary teachers, and so it was really kind of good for me to go through and read through those. Just this last year, we researched and worked on a reading curriculum adoption. We ended up with Wit and Wisdom. So this is, we did a lot of research through Ed Reports, and the rating scales of different reading curriculums. So that was one of my activities that I included. The data tracking sheet, we use data. This is for our math curriculum. It goes along with our math curriculum. We use that data a lot to create MTSS groupings, small groups for small group instruction. So this is the data tracking sheet that we see. And I actually work with trainers from Curriculum Associates and on trainings for people within my school district. So I do a lot of that. Okay, we also use our data from our interim predictor tests that we do through KITE. We use that to guide our instruction throughout the year. Those are given 3 times a year, or we get them 3 times a year, and then we go over that data and look at how we need to guide our instruction and what we need to reteach, things like that. During my time as STEAM coordinator, we did STEAM nights. I worked with Exploration Place, which is a business, I guess, a company program out of Wichita. So I coordinated that, and we did a couple of STEAM nights. This is a picture of them. They're actually building the huge towers there on the table. We had parents and family members present. I present a lot of information to the school board. This was a math curriculum presentation, and this one was actually fun. I did a math demonstration for the board members so that they could kind of see the math curriculum that we were working on. I also helped my principal out a lot with technology. She's not very tech savvy. So I am in charge of, or was in charge of this year, of our master schedule. So I created a shared document, put in all of our specials, and then the teachers kind of went through and mapped out how they wanted their day to look. And then I just go through and coordinate and make sure that, our, Title I teacher can get for all the things that they need to, things like that. Okay. Language arts curriculum presentation. This would be another thing that I went to the school board for. I went with a small group of teachers to present the reading curriculum that we had chosen. So that's what we did for that one. Nurturing professional learning. This is an activity that I had taken from one of the courses that we did and included that for one of my activities. And then lastly, the providing effective feedback. I loved these activities or these lessons and providing feedback. Since I'm going to be a mentor teacher again this next year, I felt like that was going to be extremely beneficial. Then lastly, you'll find my reflection, the 5 stages, and then at the very end, the table of all my courses, activities that we had did, and how that's going to impact me in the future. So I hope you enjoy, and thank you so much.